Pregame.com.
Pregame.tv, heading back to the National Football League. Best team in the NFL, Denver Broncos, at least right now. Worst team, Jacksonville Jaguars, and they play this Sunday. Denver opens up as a 28-point favorite. I actually tweeted, this is too high. It's going to come down. It has come down to 26.5. I think it will continue to go down, and I think that the money being bet is sharp money. I'm going to start with Brady Kannon. Brady, have you gotten involved with this game?
I have not. I have not crunched my numbers on this game, and I'm sure it's going to come out right in line with the spread, somewhere around 26 to 28. I don't know if I can get involved in this game. I think if I had to, I would take Jacksonville, just based purely on odds. That there's got to be a team somewhere in history that has never covered a spread this large before. It's the largest spread in history, right?
It is the largest. I actually went out and bought $11 tickets plus 28 at the South Point. I got 50 of them. Because
just
I figure, I know I could sell them on eBay, just like put little plaques, anyone that's going to buy, for NFL history, right?
There you go. I like that. So as powerful as we have seen Denver is, we saw them maybe a little bit exposed last week. Dallas got to them a little bit, could have won that game. Maybe Jacksonville can figure something out, from that game. Maybe they lose by 22. So I'm not going to back the favorite at that high a price.
VR, you like those big dogs. In fact, you bet them to win.
I bet them to win.
I don't think you're going to bet them to win.
I always say if I'm going to bet a dog, I have to know two things. One, my dog's got to have a chance to win the game. And I don't care if it's a 10-point dog. I have to feel it's got a chance to win the game. Jets last night. Mm-hmm. And
good call on that.
I got to feel they're going to give me 60 minutes of effort. Yeah. Because if they don't win the game, if I get 60 minutes of effort, the back door's wide open.
Sure.
If you're getting enough points. Here's the thing with Jacksonville. I told myself I'm not going to let bad teams beat me.
Yeah.
Because I know from moving steam that eventually these bad teams get more points than most respected power ratings reflect.
Yeah.
And the wise guys like backing them, thinking there's value.
It's not where they make the money, though.
Exactly. That isn't where they make the money. They're not their biggest positions.
They make the money with the mediocre team playing the other mediocre
exactly.
team.
And that's their biggest position.
The Cleveland Brown type teams against the Bengals.
Thank you.
Arizona and Carolina.
Thank you. And I told myself, I lost once back in Jacksonville. And I said, I'm not going to let this team cost me. I didn't use them for the contest since then. I haven't given them as a premium play since then. And I know people are going to argue, there's value there. There's value there. I get it. There may be value there in the number. But this team is bad. And Denver, if they want, can name their score.
I agree with that.
Now, Fox, being the coach he is, probably doesn't want to. Mm-hmm. You don't want Manning to get hurt. You don't want injuries. If you're up 17 points in the second half, you really just want the game to end. But Jacksonville's the kind of team where they could just make that mistake and where they fumble it at their own 10, and you're Denver, and you got to score. What are you going to do? If they can't tackle you and you hand it off, he's going to run into the end zone. That's my fear.
It's kind of the way I feel about the Giants. I think they're a bad team, and I'm not ready to back.
That's my fear, that Denver hands it off, they throw a 10-yard slant, and he runs for 85 yards because the secondary's awful.
Let me allay your fears. The Giants suck, and they're getting 7.5 against the Bears. We're getting 20. Then Jacksonville sucks, and they're getting 27.5. Let me. By the way, Jacksonville, I thought about taking them plus 9.5 against Indy. I resisted.
I think I took that. I think that's the one that cost me.
About taking, and the wise guys did take it. I thought about taking 11.5 with the wise guys against the Rams.
I got 12 last week, loser.
I passed.
I passed, too.
I passed as well. I'm not passing here. No one's watching the games. I meet with this one very gifted handicapper. Maybe we get him over pregame one day, Alf Mosqueda.
I know Alf.
And Alf is always like, you got to watch the games, people. Every week, Jacksonville has sucked. They look awful. Their body chemistry is awful. Last week, all of a sudden, Blackman returns. Their playmaking wide receiver from a 4-game suspension. No normal wide receiver is worth more than half a point, but he's worth the point because they have
especially
nobody
that
else.
That team.
Now they have Cecil Shorts. He's playing. Now we got Maurice Jones. Drew, he's been out. He's playing. I got my team back. I got the hated Blaine Gabbert is out. I hate that guy.
Get him.
And now I got the very serviceable backup quarterback, Henning. So Jacksonville is, I make power ratings. I had Jacksonville down to -16. I brought them up to -14.5. Phony loss against St. Louis. Completely played them even the entire game. And their quarterback Gabbard threw a god-awful pick six for 80 yards. And the long story short, they should have lost that game by 7. They lost by 14 points. They should have lost by 7. But here's the most overwhelming thing I can do is that when they went to Seattle, they were in a bad spot, okay? And Seattle was laying 19. And I can say, if you want to bet Denver laying 27, why didn't you lay 19 with Seattle, who I have like right here and here? And Seattle's a bigger home field edge than Denver, so they're pretty much equivalent home teams. You could have laid 19 then. Why do you want to lay 27?
That makes sense.
No, there's an 8-point difference. People would say, well, Seattle killed these guys. I'm like, no, they didn't. They killed them. They only won by 28. They didn't cover the 28, even annihilating
them. They didn't cover.
And Seattle, Pete Carroll, that guy, he likes to clobber people left and right. Whereas Denver, John Fox, I don't think we're going to see Peyton Manning on any naked bootlegs in this game. I think this number is crazy. And in fact, I don't want to say it's going to win, but you're going to be texting.
Sprinkle.
You're going to be texting your VIP customers, take Jacksonville plus 26, and I'm going to text you back, I told you to play him plus 27.5 on Tuesday, and you blew me off.
You're right. You know, here's a funny story. I'm driving down the strip. I'm listening to ESPN radio.
I hope you're not texting.
No. RJ's on the radio. And they're asking him last week about Jacksonville. And he's explaining to them that there's value, the professional bettors see value. And he says, I have a professional bettor, VR, Vegas runner, and I asked him if he's betting Jacksonville this week, and he said, no way, I'm not touching them. This was last week against the Rams. And he said, when professional bettors that make their money betting on sports all of a sudden are afraid to take a team, even though they know there's value, now's when you probably want to start betting them. And I passed. Still, and luckily it worked out.
The thing is,
but now you talked me into it.
They're getting better, and no one's paying any attention.
Well, it makes a lot of sense with what you're saying in the spread versus Seattle, and here's the spread this week against Denver. Why is there an 8, 9, 10-point difference? That doesn't make a whole lot of sense at all.
And Denver is at Indianapolis next week. They're in they're like, as Marco would say, they're not in a sandwich spot. They're in like a 12-inch hoagie.
I totally agree with your coaching styles too. Carroll's the guy that wants to run up that score and pound that team. John Fox is going to relax a little bit, call off the
he don't want injuries.
Makes sense. Looks like VR's betting the Jags.
I can't believe I'm taking the Jags.
I'm going to make this official.
I'm taking the Jags.
I think I went ahead and talked my co-host into this play. We are on the Jacksonville Jaguars. I went ahead. I scooped up all the plus 28 I could. I was at the South Point. I told Jimmy Vaccaro, you got to get that 28 off the board. And they let me know, well, we know we're going to get the Denver money. No, you're not going to get the Denver money. The pros are all going to take Jacksonville. And, yes, they've lost with Jacksonville before, but I didn't lose with them 2 weeks ago, and I didn't lose with Jacksonville last week. I'm going to win with Jacksonville this week. Don't be a square sharp and follow the steam on Sunday and take a crappy plus 25.5 when you can take 27. Get it right now. It's going lower. It's a free play, but I'm going to let you guys know this is a best bet that I've already given out to my premium customers that bet like a pro as well, and I really think it has outstanding value. I love this crappy team, Jacksonville. Won't surprise me if they don't cover the pleaser and cover the plus 20.
Someone out there, call me, text me, tweet me. Talk me out of this because I am going to bet Jacksonville. I'm betting Jacksonville.
You got majority rule here. Now I guess I need to follow suit. Jags it is.
You're the new guy. You got to fit. You got to fit in.
You got to fit in. Yeah, you got to fit in.
All right. We broke down. We broke down the 26.5-point spread. I think we're going to talk about a more competitive game here. Indianapolis, San Diego. Whose pick is this? It's my pick.
Your pick.
My pick. Monday Night Football. Coming off a choppy Monday Night Football last week. I had the Jets. I had the Jets live wagering, but I had Atlanta first quarter, and I lost by 7 seconds. I'm still reeling a little bit from that one, but I'll be breaking down this Monday night game. Check back pregame.tv.
Love it. Jacksonville.